All right, so here we are in part three. And in part three, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at modifying the lid. Now, in this case, we need to rotate the threads 180 degrees, and we need to do that because of our container. So let me show you. So let's go out here and take a look at some containers. So this container, as you can see, it has an indentation on the back side of it. And what I was having a problem with is as I threaded this onto my lid, the handles for the container were facing to the front of the candy dispenser. And of course, we didn't want that. We want this flat side facing front. And so the only way to fix this was to have the threads turned 180 degrees. Now let's look at some other canisters as well. So here, the Skittles canister from Amazon has those same indentations. So I saw on Maker World several people comment, well, how do we get it so that our handles to our containers are on the back side of the unit instead of the front side? Well, that's what we're going to show you how to resolve. And it's fairly easy. Take a look at the M&M canister. It has the same type of handles. Now, all of these have the same threaded lid, so all of these will work for the candy dispenser as far as the threads go. The threads just need to be rotated 180 degrees. And then over here on our Reese's canister, now this is the one that I did not order because it was not going to get here in time. So I went with the Walmart one right here and then filled it with Reese's. But the Reese's container here, it is the same on the front as it is the back. So it does not have those handles. So in this particular case, we wouldn't need to adjust our base at all. And then, so you could buy this for the candy dispenser. And then later, if you wanted Skittles or some other type of small candy, you could just reuse the jar. So with all that said, let's go back in here to Bamboo Studio and show you how to resolve this very, very quickly and easily. So the first thing that we need to do is let's create a new plate. There's our new plate. We're going to select that part and we're going to Control C and Control V. That's going to paste it in our new plate. And then to see our threads, let's flip this around. So to do that, we're going to hit the R key on our keyboard for rotate. And you can see it says X is rotated 180 degrees. So we're just going to say 0 degrees and flip it right side up. And there we go. All right. So then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slice off our threads. And then we can rotate it 180 degrees. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to select our part and then hit the C key on our keyboard for cut. And by default, it puts our cut plane at the midpoint of the selected object. Now you can also access the cut icon up here, but we're going to change our height to 25. And I already know that because I've already done this. So you can see that plane, that pink area, is just below our threads here. Okay? And so that's what we need. And then we can go ahead and choose to perform the cut. And all it's going to do is lop it off there. It's not going to rotate or do anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and choose Perform Cut. And there you go. So now it cut it right there and moved it up and over to right here. That's all it did at this point. Okay, so you can see there's our thread right there. Now, I think we're going to go ahead and rotate this. Let's not rotate it right now. All right, so what we need to do then is we need to take this object and right click on it, and we want to just center it. Center it on our build plate. And then we're going to take this object and we're going to move it just anywhere, doesn't really matter where. It does need to be on this build plate entirely. And then we can rotate and we'll go ahead and choose to center it. And so now both pieces are dead center of one another. Okay. Now, what we have to do is we have to take this piece here, which we will call this see it says dispenser top. Yes, dispenser top is fine, but we'll call it part A. Okay. And then we'll call this dispenser top, we'll call it part B. Okay, there you go, part B. All right, so back to part A, we need to know where the Z height of part A is. And we also need to know what the thickness of this part is. Okay, so the thickness of this part we already know is 25 millimeters because that's where we put the cut. So you see here, it's at 25 millimeters. Half of 25 is 12 and a half. Okay, so that is important for us to know. Now, because the part is 25 millimeters thick, the part is sitting on the build plate, we already know that the Z height for this part is 12 and a half millimeters. Okay, now this part can be a little bit confusing if you've never worked with Bamboo Studio, and understanding Z heights, it's kind of important to understand the math. So I'm going to explain it all as best I can, but I'm going to encourage you to watch this a couple of times for it to really sink in, and then play around with it yourself, and you'll get a feel for it. So again, part A is 25 millimeters thick. Half of 25 is 12 and a half. So that's where the Z is. The Z is always in the midpoint of the part, okay? And so in this case, the midpoint of 25 would be 12 and a half. So to get to the top, the very top of this, we need to add 12 and a half. 12 and a half and 12 and a half is 25. Now, that's all well and good for the part A. What about part B? Well, we'll click on part B, and you see part B is 13 millimeters thick. Well, what's half of 13? Well, it's 6 and a half, okay? So we need to add 6 and a half to 12 and a half, and that will give us 19. Okay, so we know that this Z has to be, for part B, has to be 19. Well, how do we set Z? Well, we set Z in the move tool, so we'll hit the move tool here. Okay, and there is Z. Now you see it says Z is -6, but we want to be at 19. Okay, so if we hit 19, and what's happening here? Oh, excellent. I'm glad this happened. So, and I should have spotted this. As soon as you see a negative value, something's amiss. Something's amiss there. So I'm glad this happened, because what's happening is we want to move this part in the Z direction, but we can't. We cannot move it in the Z direction, and the reason we can't move it is because it's an object. It's a single object. It's not part of an assembly. You can't have floating objects on your build plate. So in order to move part B in the Z direction, we have to take both of these parts and create an assembly by right-clicking and choosing Merge. Now, when we do that, now we can select part B, and we can select our Move tool, and we can go ahead and move it in the world coordinates. It always has to be world coordinates. We can move it in the proper orientation of 19. Okay, so now it's at 19. Now something is amiss here, because you can see that that did not take care of our problem. It almost seems like they're both on top of one another, so to speak. So what can we do to mitigate this? Well, I think what we have to do is, let's do some math here. So we have a Z height of 19, but really what we need to do is probably add 12 and a half to that. That's my first guess, because that is the midpoint of part A. So what if we, to move part B, what if we go ahead and move it to 31 and a half? Back to world coordinates. Let's go ahead and do 31.5. And does that get us what we need? And indeed it does. Okay. So I understand that that whole process can be a little daunting to make sense, but we have to just kind of work through it, and it will kind of make sense as you work through it a little bit. All right, but it is going to take a couple of times to really fully grasp exactly what's happening there. Okay, So with all of that done, now these two parts are basically put back to where we began, but they're two separate parts. Okay. Now we have this set up as an assembly. So in order to select just one piece of the assembly, we have to use the Alt key and click, and then we can select here, or I like to come over here to the left-hand side too and just select the appropriate part that I need. We could do that too. All right, so now what we need to do is just rotate this 180 degrees. So we hit the R key on our keyboard for rotate here, and then we can go ahead and rotate this. We need to rotate in the blue direction 180 degrees. So there's our rotate. 180. So notice this thread right here. That's on the left-hand side. So if we rotate this 180 degrees, you'll notice that that has been rotated 180 degrees. Okay. So that will take care of that situation where the handle was not facing in the right direction. Okay. There is a front and back to our lid. Let me show you what we're talking about here when I say there is a front and back to our lid. Might be easier to show you on this other lid, but there is a front and a back, and that is that little tab and this little tab. Okay, so this little tab has to be facing the front of the machine, so we can simply turn our threads 180 degrees by using the cut feature, and that takes care of it. Now we should go ahead and slice this plate just to make sure that we've got no issues, but we do have to flip this back over. So let's do that real quick. We're going to hold our shift key down, drag out a selection. That's going to select both parts, and then we're going to hit the rotate, and now we're going to flip this whole kit and caboodle over 180 degrees. Boom. And so now we just flipped it all around, and now the top is now sitting on our build plate. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and splice it, or slice it, I should say. So let's go ahead and slice it away, and it should give us an all okay. We shouldn't have any issues with these lining up like they're supposed to. So you see it does say the slice was okay. We do have some supports, which are necessary, but other than that, because there's a pretty significant overhang on the inside there on our threads. But other than that, that is all going to print out just fine. But now our threads are turned 180 degrees and we are good to go. The one thing that I've noticed in models, and we're going to get to it here in the last part of the series, is how some people choose to build models that make it less editor friendly, and I'll explain that kind of when we go into when we take a look at adding a base to this piece here. So yeah, so at any rate, that's it for part 3 of modifying this. Now, one thing that we did not cover, and I will make a separate video for you, is what happens if we want to change out the threads entirely. So for example, I want to use a mason jar or some type of other canister, maybe a pickle jar, something like that would work well for this candy dispenser. I have 2-quart pickle jars and 4-quart pickle jars that I saved. That my little girl, she goes through pickles like crazy, so I saved the 2-quart pickle jars for candy machines. But the thread on those pickle jars is completely different than the threads on this, and so I could show you how to switch out the threads. And it's a very easy process as well, but it could all be done here in our slicer. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. And then we're going to move on, and in part 4, we're going to be taking a look at modifying that tab and show you how we go about doing that. Thanks for watching.